We don't even need an intro for today's episode because I just quit my job. So let's jump right into it.
Yes, special guest, CEO of RussFlipsWhips Training, RussFlipsWhips, and I'm Dealer Play Guy. Russ, what happened this week, dude? You just quit your job. I thought it was like, I'm going to sell cars and do training. I'm going to balance all this stuff. And it's like, I'm out.
So, you know what's really funny is I didn't even remember this because we filmed the course about a month and a half ago when everything was super, kosher, and I'm going to peel back the layers because this podcast is where the truth comes out. This is where
juicy. Okay.
But in the course, or my YouTube video, which is about 40 minutes long of me, the behind the scenes building the course, about halfway through the course, I didn't even know I said this. Cassie showed it to me. I'm like, yeah, and I'm not going to be one of those gurus who quits his job to sell the course. All these guys online are like, I was making so much money that I quit my job, and I'm going to teach you how to do your job, and you can make as much money as I did. At least said that in the video.
And you did. Manifest destiny.
Yeah. So what happened was, obviously life was getting really busy. And between the trainings, the in-persons, the onlines, the company buildings, things were getting hectic. And look, I'm not here to blast anybody, but there was a certain individual at my dealership, and I'll say who it wasn't because it was somebody important. It was not Mr. King Louis Biondi.
Right.
Just me and him butt heads, there was just no synergy there at all. And that certain individual was always against me, not for me. And I felt really strongly, I was really disappointed about that because I actually did everything in my power to try to be the best employee at that dealership. I always did. And while I was away on vacation, the day I generated the store 200 leads with one video, I'm sending all these leads to while I'm literally getting on a flight, I'm like screenshot and sending leads, getting on this flight. That individual wanted me to take down every video I've ever made with Biondi, which would just be like all of them.
Yeah. Which would be ridiculous.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, we'll talk about this when I get back. And I got back, I worked the day, mulled it over, made sure I really wanted to do it, and I did. And I quit the next day.
Crazy. Now, I mean, that's a great story and everything, but I know the real reason was because you were going to have to start wearing ties. I mean, you can't beat around the bush because when you came back, you had to start wearing ties to sell cars, and you're like, I'm out. I can't do it.
So I didn't plan to show TikToks on this. I was truly just planning to talk, but I do feel the need for the viewers. So this is a funny behind the scenes story. And I love this podcast because this is where I feel like there's not a lot of people watch it. And then all the things I say on this will eventually bite me in the butt, but that's okay.
Let's make it a point to do that. We'll just say a bunch of stuff that's going to get us later.
So me and my brother, Hunter Flips Whips, talked to Mr. Biondi and the general sales manager, and we're like, hey, we're quitting. I have this idea which didn't pan out, and we can talk about that too. I was like, look, what I'd like to do, because I'm not quitting on bad terms. I mean, there was the butting heads of ownership, but that was like
with one person.
Yeah, that was like a cherry on top, the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? That was just like, all right, this is enough. I'm making significantly more money working for myself. This has cost me money to show up. There's a million other reasons. This one, the fact that somebody that is highly involved in the Biondi Lincoln corporation or company is not supporting me and is actually against me. It's just time to cut ties. But me thinking, how can I still help? I was like, what if I came once a week and filmed and I trained the team? And King Louis, Mr. Biondi, was totally for that. And we were like, all right, let's not even say anything about us quitting until Monday. We'll come in Monday, I'm done today. I do believe in 2 weeks, but he kind of gave me the opportunity. I was going to do 2 weeks, but then Mr. Biondi's like, so what? You just want to quit today? And then I was like, yeah.
Yes, I do. Is that an option? Okay, cool. Yeah.
If he would have said, could you give me 2 weeks? I would have gladly did it.
Yeah.
But so we're all in agreement. It's hey, this just stays in this room till Monday. Maybe tell your friends and family, but let's not let anyone at work really know what's going on.
Hang on, what day was this? What day did you quit?
Thursday.
You quit a Thursday, so we're supposed to hold the secret till that Monday.
Yeah, like I just literally a couple days. And then there's Hunter who posts this video. Let me just find it here.
I have so many questions about this because it seems like, I guess as you're pulling that up, is this something you'd been thinking about for a while? Like, how long had the thought come in your mind? Or was it literally just, hey, the other guy just said something and you're like, I'm out?
It's been on my mind for a while. Look, I mean, I was taking meetings with dealership owners that own 50 stores, and I'm in the back of the Beyond Lincoln parking lot in a car with a customer in my office waiting for me. And, maybe it's my fault, maybe it's the store's fault, but I feel like I never got like the true support that I needed to grow into my next role. And look, do they need to be supporting me as I'm building a secondary business? No. I mean, I do think the world's collided a little bit because I'm building a automotive retail training company. So like wasn't like I was like building an ice cream shop out back. Like definitely something like beneficial to them. But it just became a lot very quick. But back to my point about we were supposed to quit, keep it a secret. I didn't even know my brother was going to do this. And my little brother, extremely talented person, not extremely diligent in his thought process. So to your point about the ties, yes. This is like the grain of salt that broke the camel's back was after I get the text about deleting all the videos, which I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. We can talk when I get back. I get another text to make sure I'm in a shirt and tie when I get back.
And like, nah.
So this is Hunter's video. So if we look at my brother's TikTok here, this was the day we got back from our trip.
The place I work at just made us change outfits, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I work at
and then 12 hours later, he posts this.
I officially quit my job at the dealership, so now my sole purpose in life is making my Mustang look really cool and just following my brother Russell around.
I think that was the ultimate follow-up video to that. I don't know how I feel about the shirt and tie.
The place I work at just made us change outfits, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Well, I officially quit my job at the dealership, so now my sole purpose in life is making my
Dude, I see this Friday morning. I'm like, what? Like we literally said like we were going to keep it a secret, but sometimes things happen for a reason. And what happened was, one, I do think the dealership was a little upset Hunter made this video, and rightfully so. And it made it a little bit easier to officially cut ties. And then we talked about maybe me training, but that certain individual that didn't want me there was extremely against the idea of me being affiliated with the dealership. So we just didn't go down that rabbit hole. And I'm not going to expose what I'm working on now, but I am working on what is probably a 10 times better idea, which is filming at a local dealership and maybe getting paid to do it as well. So,
because that was the thing was like, where do you film videos at? Because obviously you only filmed them at Beyondy.
Yeah.
And so now you kind of like, man, I mean, it's kind of just a very sour ending, I feel like. And not that anybody did anything wrong. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of feel bad, like all the time you put in there, and then you basically just get kicked out. Which again, is not King Louie.
Yeah, it was not King Louie buying.
So you have somewhere to film now. Are you going to stick to like the same schedule, you think, or
you want to see my first video I made at the new location?
Yes. We're going to show it on the podcast. Is it even edited?
Yes, it is. Hunter is now doing my full production now.
Wow. Must be nice.
Well, I'm going to pay him $18,000 this month. So,
Hunter, edit that out, Hunter. Oh wait, no, he wants the whole world to know.
First video filmed, and when I was meeting with this group, I guess you'll see it in here. They were like, "So, like, are you just gonna like? How are you gonna announce you work here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna work here. I don't want to think I'm not working for you guys, but it'll be like a partnership." And he like was getting it, but wasn't getting it. And I showed him the video, and you'll see here in the one clip, like it just says like clearly the dealership's name. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like if that gets 1 million views, that'd be cool." I'm like, I mean, I don't know if this one will, but a lot of them.
Before you hit play, like you look different. You look different since you quit your job. I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know if there's more like confidence or swag. I don't know. Is this really you?
Shut the front door.
All right.
So
play.
Actually, I was going to tell you after I filmed it, this is actually AI.
Oh, you're like, yeah, I don't have to actually film in a dealership because AI does it for me.
I uploaded my last 1,000 TikToks and it generated the next 1,000 ideas based off of that.
That's actually not a bad idea.
All right, let's first TikTok ever
World
made.
premiere.
What's that?
World premiere.
World premiere of the first TikTok ever made at the new filming location. The unofficial. Nothing's in writing yet, but handshake deals. Let's make it happen. The whole 9 yards. So
Gentleman's agreement, if you will.
The deal will go through. Maybe we'll be walking this back in the next episode, but.
How much we talking for the F-250?
$90,000.
$90,000. What's it come with a fenced-in yard, an in-ground pool, and a bathroom?
No, none of that stuff. I mean, we got used ones if you want to take a look at those.
My first house wasn't even 90 grand. You guys want 90 grand for a truck? Oof. That's a little bit out of my budget, I think.
I mean, we got used ones. You want to go take a look at those?
No. I promised myself I was going to buy a brand new Ford F-250. So, look, I'm on a fixed income. So, you guys think you could figure out a way to squeeze this in my budget?
I mean, this truck's $90,000. You got to remember that. We can't get it to 50 grand, but did you want to go look at some payments, see if we can fit in your budget?
Yeah, look, I'm on fixed income though, but we can look at the numbers, see what they come back at, see if I can afford this.
All right, come on inside. Let me show you. All right, sir, I got them payments here for you. I stretched out the term because I know you're on a budget.
$1,300 a month. That's bigger than my mortgage payment was. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. We got F-150s on the lots, Mavericks and Rangers.
No. I want this. It's more than I want to spend. It's just I'm tight with cash, but I'm just gonna write a check. I'll take it.
You're ready to check?
Yeah. I don't want to make payments. I'll just pay cash for it.
Well, how are you gonna write a check?
Well, I actually own a piece of property, and I just sold the oil rights to it for $13 million. So that money hit my account yesterday. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, let me get some cleaned up for you, sir.
Thank you.
What'd you think of the first video?
Let me get some aftermarket on there. Honestly, what I was thinking about was when you post that, people are going to go nuts about like, where's he filming at? Where's this at? But I don't even know if you're going to realize it right away because you've done so many of these trainings now where you've posted other places.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very RussFlipsWhips video. Like that's your style. That's your video, but it's not at Beyondy. So it looks kind of weird. And I just wonder what people are going to think because I guess most of your training videos you haven't done with Hunter at other locations, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of been with the
look a little. Was it like it didn't look as good, or just look different? Be honest. You won't hurt my feelings,
dude. It's different. Like you've done TikToks for 4 or 5 years. I mean, how long did you do them at Beyondy? Like,
the current style of content you just watched is probably about 3 years running.
Yeah. So 3 years at the same location. Like, when I visited there, it's like, oh, I'd already been here before, but now this is Russ in a different place. And it's almost genius that like you can't see the last name on it. I mean, I know what it is, but people are going to be trying to look it up or guess or like, what is it? I think that one's going to go crazy just with like.
I think too. So I was talking with the ownership today. We had a really great meeting. I said, look, I didn't invent this plan, but I'm inventing it for this scenario. So I got viral on TikTok for genuinely not wanting to say what kind of car I drove. But I think me and you talked about that. I don't know if that was on the podcast, but I think we talked about the podcast, like 20,000 followers from a genuine, like, I don't want to say what I drive. It's embarrassing. And then I figured out what was happening and I drug it out. So like, I was like, oh, I'm getting views. Like, I'm going to over exaggerate. Like, I'm not saying what I drive. Then there was this ongoing bit. I don't know if you remember this, but who was my camera guy? You remember that? Were you around for that?
I don't really know if I followed you back then.
That's okay. It was like a big. I do remember the video where you paid Hunter for the first time, where you revealed your cameraman, but I wasn't there for all the drama before.
So
like there was a big like, I shouldn't call it big, nothing like things are always bigger in your head than what they really were.
Yeah,
but there was like a tremendous amount of comments. Like there was a guy who was like day 48 of commenting till he reveals his camera guy. Like we had that trend going on. And when I revealed the camera guy, it became really big. So I'm anticipating, even if it's not with this video, maybe not the next video, but in 15, 20 videos from now, which is my pace, like a month, where are you filming? Because people will notice like, okay, it wasn't just a training. Like he is consistently posting content here, hanging around the store. Where is it? And that's what I said to the ownership. I was like, it'd be really cool if I didn't just come out the gates and say, hey guys, I now film at XYZ dealer, build up the hype, And then it's like, hey guys, I'm now affiliated, not selling, but affiliated with XYZ dealer. I'm connected with every single one of their brands. They sell XY. I mean, they almost sell every non-luxury car there is. They're kind of like Rohrman, except minus the luxuries.
So you have a ton of brands too that you're going to be able to film with.
Toyota, Chevy, Ford,
Dang.
Chevy, GMC.
That opens it up to so much more stuff.
I want to go down the rabbit hole of my journey at Beyondy. You know, and not a lot of people know like the full story. Like a lot of people see Russ and think like his dad was the GM or, you know, something like that. And not a lot of people know that like I come from like somewhat humble beginnings.
Somewhat.
But
your story to tell however you want.
yeah, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I did start watching.
I mean, your family's billionaires, so
yeah. My dad was in line to inherit $1 billion and only got 100 million, and
from a Saudi prince. No, for real though, it's a good story. It's a good story.
Story for another time. But started washing cars at Beyondy Lincoln at 15 years old. Worked my way up from the detail department to the internet department, and I would leave high school after fourth period to go sell cars there. Sold my first car my senior year of high school. Sold cars all through senior year of high school. Just went full time that summer. Kept selling. Became a pretty good salesman. Was never the top salesman there for like my first 2 years. And then I started doing social media and was like not really good at it, but like good enough. Like probably better than the average person like picking up the camera. But wasn't very good. And then 2020, started making TikToks, and the rest is history, dude. But I have spent so much blood, sweat, and tears there that walking away was tremendously hard, but also the greatest decision I've ever made because, one, I've worked on my business so much. We're literally flying right now, like, because I'm just like an ADHD, like, overachiever, like, has to get done. Like, yesterday, I was like, we didn't make a deal yesterday. I was like, I have to make a deal. So I'm like going through the CRM, like finding all these dealers we're working with. Boom, drum up a $22,000 deal. Like that was in the works. It was in the works, but like I was like, I'm not gonna leave this office until there's money on the board for today.
Yeah, that's got to be such a great feeling too, like working for yourself now.
Well, of course, because one, I have my own calendar, so I make my own schedule, and I can block off time on my schedule to golf.
See, and this is where I'm going to start getting really jealous. I'm like, I'm going to check your location at some point during the day, you know, randomly and be like, I'm just going to see like on the golf course. I don't even look at it. It's not going to do it.
I'm going to check my calendar, see how much time I have blocked off for golf this week.
I do, you know, it is kind of weird now that I have to schedule stuff through your HubSpot link. You know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't just call you anymore. Well, I think, you know, something I've never talked about is my sales career. And a lot of people don't know that I actually sold cars. And
yeah, let's hear about it.
I actually have a little piece of memorabilia from my first full month as a car salesman. And it is this. I don't know if you can see it.
Toyota. Dude, you were there when it was Scion?
Yes. The sales associate of the month, my first full month.
Really?
And that's obviously based on like total gross. Yeah, that you do. So I think I had 20 cars, 19 or 20 cars. I can't remember. It was in 2017. It was pre-COVID, so I don't remember.
Now, did you have like that like new guy, like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm friendly and
100%.
smiley?
Yeah, 100%. You just like, you literally talk to every person that comes through the door. You're not jaded by, you know, people that have blown you off or like tried to murder you on a test drive or had bad credit. Yeah, you've had none of that. So you're just like, this is the best job in the world.
And a lot of sales guys, the more they know, the harder it becomes to actually do the job. Because, like, for example, let's say your manager's trying to lowball trade. Not saying I agree with it, don't agree with it. Let's just talk realistic for a second.
Right.
You as the new guy, you have no freaking clue. So you're like, great news, my manager's going to give you 10 grand for your car.
Dude, 15 grand. I've never seen this much money for anything in my life. And like Kelly Blue Book's 19.5. You know, you're like, you have no clue.
But the guy's been doing it for 30 years. Is like, quit being a jerk, bro. Quit playing these games. Just give me the right money. And then he goes out there and he's like, dude, my manager's lowballing you. Like, I would, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I do remember that. I think it took me 2 weeks to sell my first car though. It took
Really?
me a while. But then once I did, it was like, I was off to the races, but
And was Zach the GM when you did this?
no, Zach was the general sales manager.
Really?
Yeah. And so I sold cars for technically 6 months. And then they moved me to the BDC manager. And so I ran the store during a tent sale. We used to have like an off-site sale. So they stuck me that year, my first year in the car business after 6 months. I was like basically the desk manager at the store for like the 3 senior salesmen that stayed back. Everyone else went to the fairgrounds and sold cars. And so yeah, that was a pretty fun experience.
Mr.
And then,
Rorman liked the tent sales, didn't he?
loved the tent sales, like absolutely loved them. And he would set up the fairgrounds. Who knows how much money they spent on it? I'm sure it was an ungodly amount of money. We had to move all the freaking cars out there, all the brands. I mean, just at that time, Toyota had over 200 new cars on the ground. Now I think they have 2.
That's all they have?
Bro, I think they have, honestly, Zach said, I think they have 20-ish, and I think 18 of them are Tundras and Tacomas. It's wild. Like, their inventory issues are crazy. Toyota's trying to sell cars in freight status right now. They don't really want stuff to hit the ground. So, I don't know. It's interesting strategy. But, so yeah, those tent sales were wild, though. And it would rain, and it was just, like, mud everywhere. But they were also super fun because, like, everyone's there from all the dealerships, and the tents are lined up. You're doing finance out of a trailer. Like it was.
You were straight up like people were pulling their new car off the
dirt lot. Yeah, you didn't even have it detailed. It was just like it was wild times. But those were the best deals of the year. But do you know why tent sales started in the car business? Do you know the reason behind it?
No.
So the reason behind it, I'm setting up like it's gonna be really cool. It's really not that cool. But they would move all the cars off site, so every year they could chip seal the lot. Top dress would put new lines on it. That was why they had a tent sale. They moved it off site so they could do work on the lot.
Interesting. And they turned it into a sale. You see, people don't give car people enough credit for being innovative.
Yep. So that's what it was.
Can you imagine being in that meeting, like the first car dealership? It's like, what do you mean we got to move all the cars? How are we going to sell them? And some guy's like in the back of the room, he's like, what if we had a sale?
What if we had a tent sale? Like a circus, and they move it to the fairgrounds. But I don't know. Yeah, those were good times. I wish we still did those. You guys never did tent sales at Beyondy?
We never did anything.
Dang. Man, so many questions. So what do you do now that you quit your job and I keep saying quit your job. It's like you're a CEO now. You quit and now you're a CEO.
Here's what my day looks like. Normally wake up around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Wake up, grab a glass of milk, go back into bed, scroll on TikTok till about 12.
No, you don't.
Nothing's changed really, except like my morning routine's the exact same. My night routine, I would say, is very similar. Just like my 9 to 7 at Beyondy is now more like a 9 to 5 for myself, but like there's a lot of variable to this. Like I was up till 1 a.m. the other night, like DMing people, trying to put some deals together. Got so many leads. Like I'm the man. Like there is no like, oh, the BDC girl will get to it tomorrow. It's like,
yeah,
no, Russ, you are that. Wearing a lot of hats right now.
You're not even are you a week into it? You're not a week into it.
I'm a week. It would have been a week yesterday. Monday was like my first full day working from home. I worked from home all last week.
So how would you rate the experience? Is it like scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, this is the best thing ever. I don't think it can get any better.
It's a 10. And I can tell you a lot of reasons why. Like one of them, so like me and my wife wanted to go to our cabin. We go for Memorial Day every year since we've known each other. Or have I gone since I've known each other? And she's probably been coming in maybe like the first 2 years because we were so young she didn't come. But she's been coming since like 10 years straight to my cabin. And with us going to Australia, originally it was like, look, we're going to go to Australia. Then we're going to get back. And then I got to go to Beyondy so we can go like to the cabin for a day. But then I got to get back to the grind. But I can work from anywhere now with this computer. So it's like, I said to her, I was like, look, we'll come. We just talked about it tonight. I was like, we'll come back from Australia. It's on like a Thursday. Let's unwind Friday, Saturday, and then go to the cabin. There's Wi-Fi up there. We'll get there Sunday. We can stay there all week. I don't care.
That's awesome.
Be my computer.
So do you set like, you kind of set a goal a day? Like, do you have revenue goals or what? What do you kind of?
I have a revenue goal for the
yourself
next
accountable?
90 days. So like there's like a lot of things we're building right now. So like there's the in-person training and the online training modules. The online training modules, I'd like to ramp up to $100,000 in recurring revenue in the next 90 days, which would mean, we're bringing in $100,000 every single month. There's a few ways to accomplish that goal. Get 1,000 users signed up at $150 a month. That's $150,000 MRR. Get 100 dealers signed up at $1,000 a month. We're going to get there by doing a combination of both.
Yeah. And I heard, are you guys ever going to do any like fixed ops trading or anything like that people really care about?
I just don't see there being a big market for that. So
I don't either. Yeah, that's true. But I just some ideas for your company.
So one of the better things about quitting is like I've been wanting to expand my course, but it's like, where's the time between running this media company, running this training company, doing all these calls, trying to make TikToks, trying to sell cars, trying to answer Mrs. Jones' Bluetooth won't hook up, and it's Saturday at 6 p.m. And, I'm the guy, so you call me. But I've been wanting to expand my online training platform with my good friend, Austin Conroy, a.k.a. Dealer Play Guy, a.k.a. the guy in this podcast right now. But going to Indiana is pretty tough. Not when you're retired.
Unless you don't have a job. Oh, it's going to be great.
To be able to get that accomplished, and I think we're going to be able to add like a few things to my course. Like I think me and you can like collaborate. I have a few ideas on like how we can batch content. Like I want to go on a test drive with you, and you're just going to go for a ride with me. And we could turn it into like 5 videos, and I'll show like for like a social media manager, like, hey, here's how you get like 5 really good videos in like a 5-minute test drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely hoping to get a little content. I don't even think we did a video. Well, we did with the Car Father last time, but we didn't do one for like our accounts.
No, we didn't.
No, we have a fun. I don't even want to spoil the surprise. I mean, maybe we should. I don't know when Hunter's going to get this out, but
yeah, so we can spoil it. So what's really funny is with me just recently quitting my job and planning a trip to Rorman Toyota, where Austin is based out of, you could say. And I'm very good friends with a lot of the employees there because I conducted my first training there, and I'd like to say I played a part in their social media success, or at least some of it. A lot of the guys texted me, congratulations on your next step. So like the sales guys, the F&I guys, the GM, and none of them knew I was coming to Indiana to film with Dealer Play Guy. So I said, just see you next week. And they were like, what? Huh? And me, I'm a prankster. So the second I see an opportunity for a joke, I just go all out on it. So then I'm like, can't discuss. It's kind of hush-hush. I'll tell you more in person. And they're like, no, like seriously tell me. Like, I need to know why you're coming. I'm like, look, just be on your best behavior. I'll see you Saturday. So I called the GM, Austin's good friend, Zach. I said, hey, I got all your guys stressing. And the joke lined up perfectly. He said, I got all your guys stressing that I'm coming and I won't tell them why. And he goes, dude, I just thought of a hilarious joke. He goes, I took today off for the first time in a long time. And I guess Zach doesn't take days off, really. He goes, all the guys are stressing, asking why I'm off. I like the face you made. You're like,
sure.
That's what I was told. And
okay.
He said some of the guys texted him like, hey, you good? Everything good? Like, why aren't you here? And he was like, I'm working on some important things. And he was already pranking them just because he just took the day off. Like,
yeah.
And he came back to work, like, and they were asking about me. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, we'll just make sure you're on your best behavior Saturday. Like, it's an important day for Rorman.
It's so funny. Yeah. And then I FaceTime you today because who knows? They're not going to see this, but because I go into one of the finance managers, like, hey, come here. He's like, why is Russ coming out here? Well, he's just coming out here. And it's like, are we really trying to hire him? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the whole deal. And then I kind of played it off like, what happened last time, like the first time you visited. And I kind of like put some pieces together and I don't know. So I think they're totally on it. They think that we're going to hire you to do something. Cause then he was already planning out like, man, this is going to be so dumb. Like, it's going to be good for my social media, but like, then he's going to take the leads. They're going to have a ton of cash deals because they're all out of state. And I'm just going to I'm going to have to quit and end up going somewhere else. He's all spun out about like, I'm like, well, it sounds like you have your next 6 months planned, Nick. Like, you know exactly how this is going to go. Oh, it's so funny.
Dude, do we think the prank like the whole way through to like Zach announcing it? Like, hey, guys, come in.
Well, they have their sales huddle at 11, I think. So if you get there, we can like, I don't know, you catch up with everybody, and then like we only have to be in the office for like 5 minutes before the meeting, and then maybe you come out and like, I don't know. We got to stay on task with filming the training.
No, you're right. You're right. Dude, and I totally agree with that. But I just like to think like big picture. Like, what if we did like Russ's fake hire? Hey guys, to hire a guy like Russ, it's really expensive. Nick, you're fired. Dalton, you're fired.
It'd be so funny. We're taking all your salaries away. We don't get salaries. Oh yeah, that's right. You're fired then. You guys are now $16 an hour, and you're going to assist Russ and his deals. But
do we pull the same prank at Mercedes-Benz Olmsted with Benzes and bow ties?
See, so there's the next big announcement. And this is how all this started was, hey, Doug, we want to come see you. Yeah. And obviously he's down for it. And then Russ is like, we have to do it before I go to Australia. Yeah. So we get the Monday date that works. I take a day off work because I'm like, this is worth it. And so that's going to be fun. I do have the bow ties, which are going to be awesome.
Bow ties will be great.
A lot of skits we can do with those. I got like, I think there's 9 of them. There was a pack of Amazon, 8 or 9 of them.
That's all.
So we have plenty of color options to choose from. But that's going to be fun because I think that is got to be the most popular Mercedes-Benz dealership in the world.
Yeah, I couldn't even name another Mercedes-Benz dealer.
No, and that's not even being dramatic. And then
John Sisson, Mercedes-Benz, one of the groups that onboarded to my online training university.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out Angela at John Sisson Motors for wanting to better her team and invest in their future.
And if you want to better your team and invest in your future, please go to rfw.com and use the discount code for 100% off your training.
rfwtraining.com.
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, it's rfwtraining.com.
All right, rfwtraining.com.
Dude, that video was so I'm on a call with John, and to paint the picture, I made a video about my training course. And a dealership, tell the listeners, a dealership didn't want to invest in my course. I'm sorry, my in-person training. They're like, hey, Russ, love the idea of training the team. We love what you're doing with social. We just love. Like, it was like some like CMO. She's like, we just love everything. It's just great.
Yeah.
The price, everything's just great. But we just have this concern that we're going to pass for now. There's just been too much turnover on our team in the last few years. And we really just don't want to invest in them right now. So when we get that figured out, we'll get back to you. And so I make a TikTok about it, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I make a video and I post it. And I'm not going to say who, but we got a bunch of leads from it too. Like literally still meetings through the next week type of leads. Because
did you guys put money behind that video?
$0, swear on my life.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. We have not ran. Actually, I'm losing my mind. That was made to be a Facebook ad. And the guy on my team is like behind the 8 ball. And I'm actually really annoyed by it. But, that was made to be a Facebook ad. And, like, I've never made a video like that before.
No.
Like straight ad. And not any of those ones of me walking the lot with the backpack, none of those were boosted. Those were all organic. And they were all made to be ads. But that first one, I was like, you know what? This is like an ad, but I think I can get away with posting it. And then it did call it like 900,000 views across all platforms. I was like, oh, okay. Like I would have to spend $10,000 to get that.
Yeah.
Which is like,
and then you got a bunch of leads.
Platform and a bunch of leads. But I make that video in a very big chief marketing officer at another dealership who we've been working since the dawn of time to convince him to invest in social media for his team, he does not get it. Like he's like 75, like doesn't get it, wants to get it, likes what I do, but doesn't get it. And he's like, he calls John. He's like, hey, John, my business partner, John, I just want to let you know, wasn't a fan of Russ's recent video. I didn't like that. I didn't like that he was calling out a dealership that, was meeting with him confidentially. And John was like, well, he didn't say who it was or like who the group was. He was just telling a story of a true story. It's just really what happened. And that's what makes Russ's brand so authentic is, He just says what happened. He goes, I just don't see how that's going to, and he has him on speaker. Me and John were on a Google Meet doing like a more reviews here. I just don't see how that's going to generate leads or get anyone to call you. And John goes, well, you called me.
John is the best.
He's like, yeah, I didn't call you because I was interested. I like you guys. I'm just looking out for you. He's like, and then John handled it probably nicer than I would have. He was like, no, we appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you. We still love to work with you. This is it's just the new future of, social media is like kind of stirring up the pot a little bit, creating engagement, asking those hard questions. And if you listen to what Russ said, he was like, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Should you invest in your team's future? I don't know. I think you should. Let me know what you think. I think I'm like the master of saying, like, I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I can only imagine. Like, I wish John could he just needs to record his sales calls and then have someone edit them. Because I'm sure there's just
a sales call. Look, so my man Russ is going to come in and he's going to be moving right, left, and center. We're going to increase your reputation management. Your lead gen is going to go through the roof. Roman Toyota's number one lead source for the last 12 years has been social media since Russ has been there.
He even got Dave Portnoy to come to a pizza store, and he bought a car afterwards. It's like,
I love John. You ever notice how he'll just I'm in meetings with him, and he just names people. Like, so we're in a meeting today, and he's like, yeah, so Russ is working on a course with Austin Conroy. That's going to be great. He's going to have everything fixed ops. No offense.
Like, who is that? It's so funny.
No one's ever said who's that though. They're almost like, oh yeah, Austin, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've seen that guy. What if they're like, oh, I know who he is? Give me a demo with him.
Give me a demo.
All right, how are we gonna land this plane here on this podcast? We need something good to wrap it up. Are we gonna do? First of all, are we gonna do an in-person podcast? We have to.
Yeah,
and then we got to do one at probably Mercedes-Benz North Olmsted when we're out there. Do a little podcast. All right, Russ, I got a kind of a two-part question to end this podcast. One, do you regret your time working at Biondi Lincoln? And two, can you ever see yourself working there again?
Great question. First person to ask me this since I've quit. Do I regret the time spent? No. And I think working in a small family-owned dealership allowed me to learn a lot of information very quick. From our conversations, you've met a lot of top salespeople. And I don't say this to be cocky, but I know more about the car business than your average top salesperson. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Well, sometimes there were days where it was just my GM and, his kid's sick or he's in a meeting. So Russ has to go appraise the trade. Mm-hmm. Russ had to put it in V-Auto. Russ had to desk the deal. Russ had to make decisions on what we could sell the car for, what we could do with the rate, send it to the bank, get it approved. We went to a model real quick where Russ did F&I for a little bit and sold cars. Russ worked in the service department. Russ was in the marketing meetings. Russ has read the statement. So all these things that you would never get being a top salesman at another dealership, you're just being a salesperson. So I got to wear a lot of hats, and I learned a lot of information, and I did get special attention because when you're a big fish in a very small pond, maybe a drop of water, you just get a little bit more attention than being the top salesman at, someone call it, Auto Nation or Lithia. No one cares. You're replaceable. Literally, bro, we don't care if you sell 60 cars a month. Like, if you wanted to quit tomorrow or you got this pay plan, we'd probably send you on your way. Where at my dealership, it was just what it was. I was probably overqualified to be working at that store. And then once the social media brand got built out, it was really evident. But my greatest weakness and my greatest strength is loyalty. And I remained loyal for as long as I could until it was really just hurting myself. And I do think my time was overspent there, but I think we were having a lot of fun, which is really important. Like me and Mr. Biondi, King Louie, were really having fun, building the content, building the store. Just sometimes you're not all rowing in the same direction. And when you're not rowing in the same direction, the boat's not moving. Yeah. Will I ever work there? I will say it again. I will say it on this podcast loud and clear. The only way I would ever work there again is if I own the place.
Wow. We're going to hold you to that.
I promise you all my life I will never work there as an employee again.
We're going to hold you to that.
You think I would?
No, probably not. All right, I have another question that kind of came up as you were talking, because we thought the tariff announcement was huge. Is this going to be a bigger blow to the Lincoln brand that you're not selling their product anymore?
They're ruined.
Yeah. I mean,
and you don't believe me? Go read the comments on my post. They're not actually ruined. They'll be fine. But go read the comments. Go read the comments on my quitting post. There are hundreds of people who are like, man, love your content. It's a shame. I bought my Lincoln because of you. Didn't buy it from you, bought it because of you. Because when you're getting 60 million views a month organically and every car in the background is a Lincoln, that is like, I'm brainwashing people into thinking Lincoln.
I mean, you almost had me buy one. That's the crazy part. No, and that's where I think brands, they don't get it. Like you were saying, like the guy gets it, but he doesn't get it. Just what you just said. 60 million views of your logo every month. What would brands pay for that? What do they pay for that? I mean, it blows my mind. And I think it's like for us, it's such a simple connection to make.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, for some reason, it's so hard. Why is it so hard to make that connection?
I am really glad that the store I'm potentially going to start my call it part/full-time filming endeavor at is a Ford store.
Yeah.
I am a Ford guy. It was funny. I got there at 7:30 a.m. The general manager said he'd be there at like 8:30. I thought he said 7:30. I just misread the text. And I just walk into the service department, and I'm just pretty good at making myself at home. So me and Hunter are there, not a soul in sales. I just flick on the lights and start filming.
Yeah. Let's get a couple videos out to show this guy.
Yeah, literally.
So, but you used to work with the guy that's over there?
It was my old general manager, a.k.a. Uncle Jimmy.
All right. So Uncle Jimmy's still in the car biz.
Oh, yeah. He's killing it.
I love it.
#1 store in the group, I think, in one of the most recent months.
All right. Well, Russ, CEO of RFW Training, thank you so much for your time and doing the podcast. And we look forward to seeing you here in a couple of days.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think about this video. Either check out my latest video or my latest podcast. What do you guys want to hear us talk about next? And please go give Dealer Plate Guy a follow. His accounts have been stagnant for the last 2 months, and we really got to get them growing. Let us know in the comments what you think about this. For more content like this, follow the social showroom.
And should I quit my job?
Hunter, leave that.
I just got to get back to post.